Hey there everybody, welcome to this video. It's me, Chris, from chrisrec.com, of course. What we are going to talk about is, I've been receiving a lot of questions. As you know, I was planning on getting a lot of videos started at the beginning of this year. I have a lot of the videos done already, but I've been super busy. Had a lot of campaigns that I had to kind of manage and have been working with a couple of people, so, working with some clients and things, so that definitely takes up some time, but hopefully soon, hopefully before the end of the month, of course, I'll be releasing a bunch of content, and we'll be talking a lot more about affiliate stuff, and mostly advertorials, of course, because that's, kind of what I like to run. But somebody asked me today, and I'm not going to kind of reveal their niche that they are in, but they are in a niche where nobody has ever really run an advertorial in the niche, and believe it or not, it's possible that somebody has not run it in many niches, an advertorial. There's a couple of things that I'd like to talk about this because I think that it could be an issue for some people. Number one, the fact that maybe advertorials aren't run for certain niches for a reason, maybe because it doesn't work in the niche or whatever. Having said that, I think that there is a good chance that you could run an advertorial in pretty much any niche, and you could probably get it to work. There's probably a way to get it to work, but again, how much testing is that going to take? How much money is that going to take? I don't know. So what I want to talk about is, what do you do if there's a niche out there that you want to run, and there's a product that you want to promote, but you don't have an advertorial for it, or you have nothing to compare it to? Well, what we're looking at here is this guy right here. I'm sure a lot of you have seen this video. I'm pretty sure it's this one. It's a video of a guy who built basically a canoe in his garage or in his apartment or something crazy like that. It was going around Facebook for quite a long time. So what I would do is, and again, we're going to use canoe building as an example. Do you think it would be a good idea to run a how to build a canoe offer, for example, on just a regular old native network? Probably not. The answer is you probably wouldn't do that well. Of course, I've been surprised in the past. I've run things that I never thought would work in a million years, and they worked great. So again, you never really know. That's part of the reason why, one of the main things in affiliate marketing is collecting data, seeing what works, and just not trusting yourself, trust the data. Every time that I've come up with an idea that I thought was going to be awesome, usually it sucks, and usually it completely fails. Anytime I've tried something that I thought was going to completely fail, it usually works. So, again, I find that I just don't listen to myself, and I trust the data, and that's the only thing that I follow. Every time I do something else, I lose a ton of money. So what you should be doing is you should be testing, like I said, but say we wanted to run something like this. What I would be doing is I'd be looking for stuff exactly like this. I'd be looking for viral videos like this, number one, because you can put them on your advertorial page, and you can kind of use these things as an ad almost, and you can drive traffic to the page in the first place. I wouldn't copy something like this, of course. I wouldn't use this guy's exact advertisement, or I wouldn't use his video. I think that there's a lot of problems that could go along with that. There's no reason that you couldn't build your own canoe, for example, and put that in a video and kind of create a very similar video of you doing something like that. Now, of course, I'm just giving you examples here. This would be a ridiculous amount of work. I think it took this guy 8 months. There it is, right there. It took him 8 months to build it. So obviously, are you going to spend 8 months on an ad? Probably not. But again, most niches out there that you could be going after are probably going to be a lot easier to kind of, explain or to show people how to do it. They're going to be a lot easier than building a canoe. But what I would be doing is, again, I would be running something like this on Facebook as an advertorial, and, that's where I would kind of build my target. And, like I said, I think viral videos are a great way to promote things like that, and creating your own viral videos are exactly what I would do. So again, just to back up, because that was a little bit confusing, is if I were trying to promote a product based off of, building a canoe, what I would be doing is I would be probably starting, I'd start back a little ways. And again, this is why I think it's just easier to go after easier niches. But again, I realize that some people, want the challenge. So what I would do is I would go back, I would do something like build my own canoe, and I would put it on a video and, kind of try to make it go viral, or at least I'd be promoting it on Facebook. And then what I would be doing is I would, of course, have that on a web page, and I would say, hey, if you want to learn how to build your own canoe, click here or sign up here. I would be trying to figure out exactly what the demographic is. Again, we're doing a little bit of kind of reverse engineering here. I would be trying to figure out who the demographic is that wants to purchase a canoe, or wants to build their own canoe. And then what I would do is, once I have all that demographic data, then you can take that data you can bring it over to native campaigns. You could bring it over to native advertising networks with all the data you have, and you could start running it that way. So that is exactly what I would do. And again, it can take some time, but let's just, for shits and giggles here, let's look up worm farming. This is one of my favorite examples, is worm farming. And, I always say you could literally make money with anything on the internet. Look at all these people here promoting products about worm farming and everything like that. And look at some of these views. I mean, 454,000 views, 196,000 views. So obviously people want this information, right? But let's say you wanted to promote a product about worm farming. This is exactly what I would do. I would come here, and again, because, is an advertorial on worm farming going to work? Probably not on a native advertising network. It would probably work on Facebook. And like I said, you could almost reverse engineer. You could go to Facebook, you could run it on Facebook, find out exactly who wants information about worm farming, who wants to do that. And again, it would probably give you some demographic information. And then I would take that demographic information over to a native ad network, and I would kind of work backwards from there, kind of dialing in my targets on the native ad networks. Again, it would be a little bit difficult. The other thing is, the same person that asked me about kind of creating advertorials for difficult products, they said, like, how do you know, since there aren't any advertorials out there, how do you know what type of advertorial to write, or, how do you know what to write about? And, what I said is it's a little bit tricky. Number one, you can, what I told this person to do was to find advertisements that have already been very successful in similar niches. So there is a very successful advertorial, that is in his niche, that's in a similar niche, and just some quick tweaking would work really well. So that's one thing that I would do. The other thing is I would just come here and I would say how to set up a homemade worm farm, and, almost 500,000 views. I mean, you could literally just kind of create an advertorial, how to set up a homemade worm farm, and you would probably do really, ridiculously well. Again, probably surprise even me with how well it would do. Be a worm farmer, like, if you look at some of these things, that's actually not such a bad headline, right? People might look at that. It's kind of funny, like, worm farming, like, who wants to do that and all this other stuff. It has that curiosity factor. So writing an advertorial like that would probably work really well. There's tons of examples here. Of course, here in this picture here, if you can see, I don't know if you can see what they're doing. They're using a lady's chest basically to catch your attention. And as you can see, it's one of the top videos, almost 1 million views there. So, they use all sorts of tricks, the same tricks we use in native advertising, the same tricks that have been used for ages in advertising in general. But that's kind of what I would do if I were in a difficult niche trying to write advertorials. Is I would mainly be using something like YouTube, or I'd be using Reddit. Again, the canoe building's great because that video went viral. And I think that started on Reddit. I'm not so sure exactly where that started, but I'd be looking for viral topics and viral ideas. That's kind of what I would be working towards. And this person, they're in a niche that requires instruction basically for the product itself. It's an instruction kind of learning product. So, I find that creating advertorials, one of his first ideas was to create an instruction type of advertorial, let's put it that way. And, sometimes that can work. But sometimes if you answer the person's question too well, they don't end up purchasing your product because you just answered you just answered all of their questions. If you can do something like this, like be a worm farmer type of advertorial, and you can be a little bit more vague, and you can maybe get them to purchase your product. So anyway, I hope this helps. I know this video is kind of all over the place, but thank you for watching. Of course, we'll have way more videos in the future here, all about writing advertorials and promoting things on Facebook. Like I said, we have definitely have some case studies coming, and also more instructional stuff, of course.